And yo, the Sports Bag Bros podcast is back on, and it is Thursday. Thursday night football is before us. As the Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, but you'll get this after that game. But there's so many other games going into week number 7 for the NFL, week number 8 for college football. We're going to try to get to all of it within this session. What's good?
What's happening? You bring up that Thursday night game. I have zero interest, man. Bengals are terrible. And I don't want to see Rodgers play well. Uh, I don't care if he's no longer in Green Bay. I still don't like him. But I guess I got to eat some crow because I picked the Commanders. I called
against your own team.
Right. Well, but I didn't know Jaden Daniels was going to fumble the ball and throw it to a guy who hasn't had an interception in 3 years. And there was another turnover. But you like to say the rejuvenated Bears.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro.
Resurgent, man. Resurgent.
Hold on. Yes, they've won 2 in a row. But both games, they're +7 in those 8 quarters. +7 in those 8 quarters. And both games came down to the last play of the game.
Bro, if they want to be the cardiac Bears, let them be the cardiac Bears.
I'm just saying. And look who the opponent was. Well, I mean, the Commanders were NFC made it to the NFC Championship last year, but I was just surprised that the Bears actually could run the ball. DeAndre Swift had over 100 yards rushing.
And out of the backfield.
But I'll tell you what else. I don't need to see Chase Daniel with his thumbnail saying Caleb Williams is doing incredible things or he's doing things that haven't been done. I can't remember how he worded his thumbnail, but the kid, whatever you want to call Caleb, he has the worst accuracy in the league.
Now, I've seen him miss some big ones, man. He started off high.
Right.
This is some big
ones. And a lot of times his throws are off just enough where the guy has to reach back and get tackled almost immediately as opposed to catching it in stride and maybe getting a lot more yardage. I don't know how many times that's happened. It's frustrating. But here's another thing. If you watch the game, you know the Bears had a 2-point conversion opportunity to tie the game. And they ran a perfect play. 2 wideouts on the right. They go across. I can't remember. I think it was Loveland. He could have got his first touchdown. Loveland comes underneath, and he's wide open in the corner of the end zone. Does Caleb anticipate it? No, because he didn't pass it to him. He's like, oh, shit, here comes the rush. He would not have had to worry about the rush if he anticipated Loveland coming open, being ready to throw the rock, because the closest guy was 5 yards away. So don't tell me he's doing great things when he can't do a basic thing as see a guy who's coming wide open and he's the number 1 target because they schemed him to get open. So don't tell me Caleb's doing great things.
Now, has Chase Daniels ever really criticized a quarterback? Because you know how it is, that the unwritten rule of quarterbacks not criticizing other quarterbacks, even when they're retired, they still kind of have that little fraternity going on. And anyone can argue and say that Caleb is in his second year. He's still learning the position. You look at a litany of other quarterbacks in the past, they had the same issues and it just kind of grew into the part. I think that this is somewhere to start. And by the way, you still shortchanging your team. They're on a 3-game winning streak, man. 3 straight games.
My bad.
Yo, bro, man. These boys, you're waiting for this.
You're right.
You're waiting for this, and now you don't want to give these dudes credit. Hey, Ben Johnson.
I'm just saying. So I'll give him props. No matter how it got done, they got it done. They went into Washington and they came out with the W. And so they won a game they weren't supposed to win.
Yeah.
In their Bears' recent history, they lose games they are supposed to win. So we'll see what happens. I think they're 0 for like nine games against the Saints in New Orleans, something like that.
Bro, this Saints team is not good. Spencer Rattler is better than I thought he would be.
Well, I preceded by saying they might lose a game to a team they're not supposed to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But man, I'm looking at this New Orleans team when I get a chance to see them now. Spencer Rattler has already done better than I thought he'd ever do. I didn't even think he was worthy of getting drafted. I've gone to his games, even up there in South Carolina, watched him play against the Gators. And I'm like, oh man, I've watched him when he was at Oklahoma, and I watched him when he was at South Carolina. I'm thinking that, man, this guy just isn't it. They're trying to push him through. But then he gets drafted late, and so far, so good. It looks like he's growing just like any other quarterback has their growing pains while they're growing. So he's actually ahead of the curve that I had for him because he shouldn't even be there. So, but in any event, this Bears team with Ben Johnson at the helm, it looks like he's that influential thing they needed to do what they're doing now. It's because, you see your past coaches, they kind of like faltered at the beginning. They looked like they were going to do something, or they said they were going to do something. There were acquisitions made, and they didn't live up to their expectations. The latest one, not living up to their expectations. Eberflus not living up to expectations. Yeah, exactly. Eberflus losing all the damn time. But now it looks like that they have the right trajectory. They win this game here. I think there's 6 teams in the NFL that have 3-game winning streaks right now. And they would be one of these teams that would have a 4-game winning streak. I doubt all 6 of them will have a 4-game winning streak when this weekend is over, if the Bears happen to be one of those teams.
Let me give you another reason why I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. They had 3 drives that started inside the 30 against the Commanders. 3 drives.
Hey.
And they didn't get any touchdowns. They got 2 field goals and 1 blocked in 3 red zone opportunities where your drive started, basically. At least in 2019, when the Bears had Khalil Mack and he was getting strip sacks, and Eddie Jackson, before he got paid, was actually a ball hawk and making pick sixes. They would set up the offense just like the Bears got set up the other night in great field position. Even Mitch Trubisky would get touchdowns. He had a game where he threw 5 touchdowns. But I knew Mitch Trubisky was not the truth. It was a product of the defense giving him the ball in great field position. The following year, when Mack wasn't as effective, wasn't causing turnovers, Eddie Jackson got paid, wasn't intercepting the ball. They were not putting the offense in great field position like they were the year before. And the Bears offense struggled because they had to go 60-plus yards or 75 yards or whatever it was. And that's when we saw the real Mitch Trubisky.
And now, hey, when we're going to see the real Caleb Williams, is it better than the one we're seeing now? Because this is still a work in progress. He's far from a finished product, and he has flashes, but he does miss receivers, wide open receivers. But another thing you need to look at, Oduze. Look at him. He's one of the leading receivers in the NFL in terms of touchdowns. So this guy's there for him. So, and they're going to supposedly grow together. You're hoping that's the case. Right. But I'm wondering now, with DeAndre playing the way he played the other day, DeAndre Swift, is he now, if this is him turning the corner with some consistency, because he did it both out of the backfield and he did it running traditionally as a running back. And that last one to melt the clock, that boy hit that corner, he was out.
Yeah. I think they figured it out. Instead of calling off-tackle plays and him trying to bounce it out, they figured, hey, let's just toss it to him.
Toss it, let him do something.
Just run some sweeps, some zone blocking. And they say that's his forte. He can find the gaps. So he definitely did it the other night.
And it took him this long to find that out, that he likes to do that, man. What were they watching in free agency when they decided to get him?
We had him he was on the team last year.
That's what I'm saying.
You think one of the coaches last year might have figured it out at some point?
See, give him the pitch, give him a chance to use his eyes, use his talent, his instincts. That gives him time, and he had the speed anyway to get there. I remember hearing Barry Sanders a while, and people were asking about how come you're that much better than anybody else, or why are you able to do this and someone else can't? I can get there. That's the difference. A dude running a 4.38 as opposed to a dude running a 4.5. He gets there faster. The hole closes by the time the 4.5 guy gets there. But yeah, it looks like DeAndre Swift. I already knew he had talent. He showed some of it in Philly. I just don't know what the hell happened. But then I thought about the Bears line, but the pickups the Bears made last season, I thought would be the reason why we started seeing more. And then a lot of it was started again this season, running into the wall, doing nothing, getting like 2 yards of carry, a yard of carry in some cases. Now he's using his eyes, and they're giving him plays the way he could optimize what the hell he's doing, and you see what's going on. And bro. I mean, these dudes are winning 3 games, man. I mean, Ben Johnson may get the freaking coach of the year if this, even if they just come close to the playoffs, he'll be in the argument for coach of the year.
So this isn't the Bears podcast, so we need to move on. But I gotta apologize to Darnell Wright. I was dogging him a couple weeks ago. He had gotten like 3 false start penalties, missing blocks, and I think he's out there with a big old brace on his elbow. But man, the other night he was a monster. On one play, he blocked one guy into another and sprung Swift for a big run. So Darnell Wright, my apologies. I hope you can keep playing that well.
All right, since we got to move on, how about we move on to the Eagles, who are not the Eagles of late. They're on a 2-game losing streak, and they're playing the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. But really, home field advantage does matter in football, but in the NFL, obviously, I don't believe that it matters as much as in college. But it still damn matters, especially when you start getting into the weather. But this is weather controlled inside Minnesota, inside the dome. But Minnesota being, coming off of a bye week and now going into playing the Eagles, who's kind of going on a bit of a schneid. Incidentally and ironically, Jalen Hurts had a pretty damn good game last week, and they still lost. And when I say, this dude throws for 150 yards a game and a touchdown or so, and then he runs the rest of the time, tush push, he's throwing the ball effectively, get 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they lose the damn game.
Yeah, the Eagles defense needs to figure things out because they're pretty dominant last year, and this year they leave a lot to be desired. So yeah, Jalen Hurts can play well, but he can't play defense. So that defense, they got to figure things out on that side of the ball. As far as going to Minnesota, I still expect them to come out with a victory, the Eagles.
I think so too.
They got quarterback problems right now until J.J. McCarthy comes back. And when he does come back, he's still a rookie. He's going to have his rookie.
I wasn't expecting a whole lot from him.
I'm just saying, as well as he played,
he surprised me in the first couple.
As well as he played that first Sunday night against the Bears, though, he showed a lot that game.
I didn't even think he was a first rounder, and they know more than me. He worked for their team at least for that time he's in it. Hopefully, he's not injury plagued like he's kind of shown a bit of so far. But it was a catastrophic injury last year that kept him out for the season. But Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback for Minnesota now.
Like I said, they have quarterback problems.
They have quarterback problems. I'm just wondering, since when did Carson Wentz become a quarterback problem? I mean, I'm still looking at back in the Philly days, man, when they had Nick Foles playing. And, man, you're talking about someone who fell from grace quickly. That's him.
Yeah, unless he does a Jim Plunkett-like comeback.
Rich Gannon. Jim Plunkett, Rich Gannon, somebody who's done something else. Steven Berg, man.
The Vikings are going to struggle. Their defense is going to have to really play big for them to win games and stay in the thick of things in that division.
Man, and well, there aren't really that many great games. I think that going overseas and all the other stuff that they're doing, the Jaguars are going overseas for this game they're playing. I don't know. They left on Monday because I know, here in Jacksonville, man, they love the team. The team is so accessible, and people wait down at the stadium when they're taking these road trips, but they left on Monday to get off to Europe, to England, and they'll be playing out there. And I know the fans don't really like that because it takes a home game away, but luckily it's just not the Jaguars doing it anymore, so they can't feel like they're being picked on. Other teams now are going to Europe as well, prominent teams as well, not just the teams you kind of throw away and just give the Europeans something or the UK something to be happy about. But yeah, the Jags, man, I'll tell you what, Trevor, I'm done with Trevor Lawrence, man. I watched this guy. He's not a good quarterback. I mean, I want to say if he's not a good quarterback because he was the number 1 pick overall, and then he did what he did in his second year going to the playoffs, deep in the playoffs, but has regressed every season afterwards, whether through injury or just natural regression. Not even progression, natural regression. I pick against him because of him now. The defense, the most takeaways in the NFL, and you watch them play, you're like, damn, they're really doing it. And they really are doing it, but they're playing this weekend without Devin Lloyd, the MVP of the defense, if not the MVP of the team right now, along with Travis Etienne. But, they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, so I don't get to see a lot of Trevor Lawrence, but I do see the scores of the game, and a lot of times I do see his numbers, and we talk about him because you live in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a guy that maybe was a late first round pick or second round pick, and they've given him a shot, and like, you know what, it's just not working out. If he wasn't the number one pick,
He'll be
they
gone by
they
now.
probably.
He'll be like Zach Wilson. He'd have been out of there by now. But they
Where's the
also gave him
button?
that $200+ million contract. So, they can make that commitment. And that was pretty much on the heels of going to the playoffs that year. They thought there was more where that came from, and it hasn't gone back. And the way he's playing, I'm watching him scan the field and still doing crap passes. So, like, typically when someone knows what they're doing, like we saw Peyton Manning in his rookie year and how he threw all of these interceptions. But as time went on, you start seeing him when he scanned the field and had the time, he was finding his guy. That guy was Marvin Harrison, but he was finding his guy. And Trevor Lawrence, you do have Brian Thomas, who's a hell of a receiver. And now you're seeing what Travis Hunter, who needs to just stay at receiver. This dude has good hands, his ability to get away from his juking ability, all that. He's just a little frail right now. He's going to get bigger in the offseason. But Travis Hunter probably needs to play more wide receiver than defensive back.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison, that's my guy right there. Want me some money in fantasy football.
Oh,
But
my first time he did this, I had sandbox. He won that joint, bro. Him and Randy Moss. It was crazy.
But I had Rice and Irvin at one time. They're both getting 100 balls a year, man. That was crazy. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Who?
With Trevor Lawrence or Travis Hunter?
No. Oh, well, just keep it moving.
Yeah, because I don't even know if I want to even talk about the Jets anymore. I want to start talking about the Jets again with pitchers and catchers in February or something like that. That's it, but there's no reason to talk about what's going on. Like I said in the last show, I thought they would at least scratch the surface of the playoffs, probably a wild card at 0-6, and now people, well, if all they got to do, man, there's no all they got to do anymore. This is over.
All they got to do is win all the rest of their games. They just got to try and secure that number one pick.
Aaron Glenn better hope he's not a one and done. I hope he isn't a one and done. But the more the team moves forward or moves backwards and they're losing more games, I'm less and less against him being a one and done, only because it's happened before with Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll landed somewhere else, got himself a Super Bowl ring with Seattle. So I'm not saying that's going to happen with Glenn, but, man, it's just horrible watching this. All of this talk beforehand, I know all of these coaches who have come through talking about how their way was going to be the right way. No one's been right since 1969, including Bill Parcells. Come on with the Jets. Man, it's just been a damn mess.
But have you seen all the conspiracy theories regarding the Chiefs and the refs?
I heard about some of them, with the drop passes or how now the refs got their thing back together. The refs have started to talk. You feel that buzzing?
Yeah.
That was my phone. When somebody calling me right about now. They usually expected me to be out of here, but he's out in California, so he doesn't even know yet. It would be taped. But yeah, man, they're talking about now the refs are back on their side. That's why they're winning games.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. Like I said, I can see how people they can buy into that because there are a lot of questionable calls. A little push on the shoulder and it's 15 yards, but other quarterbacks don't get that same call. I can see it. I don't know. Whoever's on top usually gets attacked for getting calls. Everybody said Jordan got all the calls. Last year Shea's getting all the calls. That's
all the time.
Yeah, that's just it comes with the territory for the top guys.
When it's not their team, it's always something wrong. It's like the gamblers too. Anytime they win, they're the best gambler ever. They're the best handicapper ever. When they lose it, every game is rigged. Every game is rigged. You knew that ref knew something. That ref got money in the game. And all the nonsense you hear from these damn guys. How about let's keep up with
this?
Well,
in the NBA, we really don't know.
That's legit. We know that's legit, man. Another thing was legit too when the players in college football were doing their rendition of scamming games and fixing games and nonsense. Scooter McDougal, who played for Toledo, scammed the game. And I'm like, man, come on, man. That was my dude too.
I just saw a video a couple of days ago on Facebook. It was Irving Fryer when he dropped that pass in the Orange Bowl that could have set up the tying 2-point conversion. It was a play or two before when they actually scored. And bro, I'm telling you, it looks like he actually tried not to catch it. And I remember hearing that he may have been point shaving. There's rumors of gambling being involved. When you watch that video, you can, I'm sure it's on YouTube. Irving Fryer drop pass 1983 Orange Bowl. The ball comes, it hits his hands, and he kind of pulls his hands away. The ball falls, and then he goes to one knee in the corner, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I dropped that. Dude did not even try and catch it.
And that was the Canes' first championship, boy. That was ill. But yeah, but hell, he became the first pick overall in the draft as a wide receiver, man.
He had a decent career for the Patriots.
Yeah, no one, just like Keyshawn Johnson, another wide receiver taken #1 overall, obviously not living up to expectation. I was at that draft when Keyshawn Johnson got drafted. That's still to this day, in my opinion, the best draft not even my opinion, just me. And the best draft I've ever gone to. That's when it was always in New York, so I was able to go. But now they have it everywhere else. But yeah, I didn't even think about that drop pass. I didn't look at it being or think about it being on purpose, or there might have been some shenanigans behind it. Now looking back, man, I mean, how is it not reasonable to think somebody's doing something that's not on the up and up in college sports anymore? When you hear about what was that kicker from Notre Dame that was shaving points, in basketball games, the same thing. It's just been going on for a while, and you hope that someone's not doing it, but it's hard to not think they're doing it, even in the NIL stages where people are already making money, so they're less likely to do it.
Right. I mean, I don't believe Fryer played well. Rozier was in and out of the game, was not playing well. I think he was damn near miracle. Nebraska tied the game or almost tied the game, or even had a chance to tie the game. But Nebraska fans, they're at odds, man. Because I saw a video. Well, no, in that thread in the comment section, it went from did Fryer drop it on purpose to, well, we would have been national champs if Turner Gill threw a good pass. And they're saying that this guy was open over there, and this guy, if he just threw it to the corner, the defender would have never gotten there. I'm like, dude, you guys are arguing about something from 1983. We got 3 championships after that. It's okay, man.
You can't change what happened, but yeah, it's always nice to keep your blood boiling, to have something to be upset about. But hell, since we're still talking about college ball, why not talk about some college ball? Some big news, at least. Kurt Cignetti of Indiana signs an 8-year contract extension with an average salary of $11.6 million per season to stay with Indiana. There's been a lot of speculation just over this little bit of time since James Franklin was fired from Penn State, thinking, in my opinion, too, I thought Cignetti would be the obvious choice. But that money starts flowing, and I know there are boosters on both sides that can handle any type of buyout if it needs to. But the way things seem, and you look at the age of Cignetti, he's one of the older coaches in his 60s, probably tired of just moving from place to place, just wants to call somewhere home.
That could be, because I can't think of any other reason to stay at Indiana. The other day I said, give me steak and potatoes and not a club sandwich. I guess Mr. Cignetti's trying to make that club sandwich into a steak and potatoes meal because
$11.6 million. He got some steak and potatoes. He had the whole cow.
I don't know. We'll see. He might be serving prime rib or something.
But congrats to this dude for looking on the surface, it looked like he's doing the right thing. But now, you talked about it last time. Matt Rule said everything but no when it came down to the Penn State job. I love Nebraska. It didn't say anything about, I don't want to go to Penn State, his alma mater. Now that Cignetti's clearly out of it, at least on the surface, but he is clearly out of it, Matt Rule's the only reasonable choice.
I don't know if he's the only reasonable choice, but I'm telling you,
for Penn State and what they've done and what they want to represent.
I got you, but that's his alma mater.
Yeah.
Husker Nation, they're in panic right now, man. They're even saying, are we going to lose recruits? And it's just rumors right now.
I crept into a few.
I haven't even seen a report saying that they've asked for permission to speak to him. Is he even interested right now? Maybe he tells them, look, I'm trying to do my own thing this year. Talk to me after the bowl game.
And I just talked about that last time. I was like, hey, the longer he goes without signing that contract, Cignetti, more likely it seems like he might be making the move. This dude didn't waste any time. He
Right.
didn't wait till the playoffs or wait till after the playoffs. I'm only focusing on the next game. This dude took care of business right now. He's done. He's off the books. Now it seems like Matt Rule, with everything pointing towards Penn State, him being in a Penn State alumnus, and now a 5-1 Nebraska team, even though they're just 5-1 and just getting into the top 25, but they're there now and going by their schedule, bro. They do not have a difficult schedule looking ahead. They got some nice wins on that schedule that they can continue to get.
Yeah, they just have to play up to their capabilities. I don't know. A couple weeks ago, it was the win. Raiola couldn't play in the second, third quarter, but he dominated the first and the fourth quarter when they had the win. Yeah, they got an opportunity to do some things, but I just don't think they're there yet. Let's say they end up 10-2, 9-3. I wouldn't consider them a strong 10-2 or a strong 9-3. You know what I mean? Like they found ways to win after so many years of finding ways to lose. So I'll definitely be happy with a 9-3, 10-2 season. I just don't think that they're really a 10-2 team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, even if they go 10-2, they're not a real 10-2 team. I understand that because of the strength of the schedule. I mean, for some reason, they rolled a nice ass schedule down to where it's not extremely competitive. There's not a whole bunch of landmines on that schedule. And the game they probably should lose, maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most. That's pretty much that. And if they happen to be at home and got the backing of Nebraska and they can win one of those games, that's going to be beneficial, obviously. But as far as the team looks, because I was looking at this is one of the fraudulent teams because the rest of college football knows Nebraska's name. They know the black shirts. They had the wins, and they weren't even in the top 25. On the other hand,
what's real bogus is Cincinnati's 24. Nebraska beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, now they did beat Cincinnati.
They did. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They did beat Cincinnati. Look, when you go on these college message boards, I don't even trust the so-called voters anymore. They don't even watch the game. They do whatever's popular. They may even go on the internet and get someone else's opinion. I was just speaking with or going back and forth with some Alabama fan the other day, and he's telling me as a Miami fan, they don't play anybody who's ranked. All the people they beat aren't ranked anymore. The Gators aren't ranked. This isn't ranked. I mean, bro, if that's the case, Alabama lost to an unranked team in Florida State. What do you want?
Right.
Now what? He doesn't come back. He disappears.
Of course not.
Come on, man. I know I shouldn't bother going back and forth with people like that.
When you get it to facts over feelings, the debate's over.
Yeah, exactly. But I understand Alabama fans. They are entitled. I'm not going to say they're almost like they're entitled. They are entitled because look what Nick Saban has done. They won so much. Anything outside of the top 3, these dudes are going to cry. You know what I mean? And now they're way out of the top 3, and there's crying going on. But yeah, I think now because of Ty Simpson, things are now coming together for them. They still can't stop the rush. They still can't do a lot. They bend but don't break. But they have enough offense out there, especially with those receivers. Even if Jan Miller doesn't come back because of the concussion, doesn't seem likely for this upcoming game against Tennessee. And they're still favored. I mean, it's in Tuscaloosa, yeah, but they're still favored. This Tennessee team, I think another one of those overrated teams that shouldn't be as high as they are anyway. I think Alabama handles them on Saturday.
Yeah, so getting back to Cignetti right quick, I think he thinks he has an incredible opportunity to do something great this year. And he signed the contract, so there's no distractions. He's focused on this year.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that he plans on leaving, but I think probably 98% of his focus is this year and no distractions. Had they lost that game to Oregon, had they lost 2 games to this point,
like James Franklin,
he may not have minded the distractions.
And that's probably true, man. But looking at that team, the 2 teams I talked about that probably no one really wants to face going into these playoffs, if it continues on this type of trajectory, is Indiana and Texas Tech. Those 2 teams are scary teams to play with. I'm hoping that something different happens with Texas Tech, so it at least shows that they're kind of Texas Tech-ish, but it's not. those guys are still good, whether you have Hammond in there or whether you have Morton in there. They'll do Baron Morton. It's just the team just seems to defensively pick it up, offensively still get the flow. even when Hammond threw an interception, he ended up running 2 touchdowns in, so he canceled it out. In fact, he went 1 up. And so, yeah, there's some pretty interesting games coming on. And by the way, with Billy Napier, it's almost just a matter of time before he gets fired. They're just looking for I don't even think they're looking for the reason. They have what they believe is a reason. Him losing to Mississippi State on Saturday, he will be fired on Sunday morning if that did happen. And Mississippi State does have a much better team than last year, but I think they played against, was it Ole Miss? No, they didn't play Ole Miss. They played I forgot who the heck they played, and they got actually Texas A&M and got blown out when I thought they should be able to hang in there by 9 points, and they got smacked. So, but Florida's just such disarray. So I don't know whether that disarray goes from the top and then goes into the locker room and all of the disarray that's going on in the locker room. I don't even know. They wanted to fire him last year, 2024, but the athletic director was like, you know what? Because they had the buyout money and everything. They said, yo, how about giving him 1 more year and use that buyout money to put into the NIL deals so we could bring in more talent. And that's the only reason why, from what I hear, that was the reason why he returned. Now, obviously, that didn't work out. They got Dallas Wilson, so I don't know how much they're paying him. That freaking nature, man. He's another one of these ridiculous wide receivers coming out as true freshmen and just owning college football. But obviously not enough. So after they lose, if they lose, or even if the margin's not big enough, I just think if the writing's already on the wall, he's out.
I'd like to know what the odds are on Belichick staying at North Carolina the whole year.
Well, we've seen the stories now. How valid all those stories, I don't even know. But I don't. When we look at the beginning of the season, you look at all the players he brought in from the transfer portal, then all the true freshmen he has a built-in excuse. So if I don't know, is it his ego? Because if he wants to stay, I think North Carolina will allow him to stay. I think it might be a Bruce ego and why and other NFL jobs that are opening up might be the reasons why he might want to leave with these NFL jobs opening up. There's 2 NFL jobs right now, I think, still, right? Between Miami and now Tennessee, 2 NFL jobs open. There's probably going to be more.
Well, you know how he likes to be standoffish and very abrasive. Maybe the younger guys aren't going for that, man.
Well, but maybe in practice he should be as a coach. It's like dealing with the media is different. The problem with college football is you're dealing with boosters now. The AD is making decisions,
but when he became GM, he made a lot of people unhappy trading stars. He was
he got rid of Richard Seymour at the right time. He got rid of Deuce just at the right time.
The philosophy, better sooner than later. So let's save some money, get rid of this guy, bring in some younger guys we can develop. You can't just get rid of guys like that. You can encourage transfers, I'm sure, but
now in college football, and these kids here, they will transfer in a heartbeat. Right. Dudes who are capable of transferring and going somewhere else, and people who aren't capable but still decide they want to transfer. And last time I heard, about 48% of the players don't get not taken by other schools. They come back anyway, or they might just sit out because they're too damn embarrassed to decide to leave to begin with. But with all the players that he has, those true freshmen and all of these transfer portal players, it's still less than what Deion Sanders had done. Deion Sanders brought in over 80 new players. And in a game like football, when everything has to be in synchronicity, because it works as all these moving parts, you expected him to, I didn't know what to expect, to tell you the truth, but he still got something out of it. But I think primarily because of Travis Hunter, primarily because his son, did add something to it. It wasn't nothing. But then you saw where the stats that mattered on third downs, and then you look at how many times he's been sacked, and then you look at how many yards per carry, like 3 yards per carry or less. And then you realize, let's not forget Deion Sanders did beat Iowa State, a ranked team, this past week in Boulder. Yeah. So even though people want to try to forget about him, he's pulling some tricks out. But then now people will say, well, Iowa State wasn't that good anyway. Why? Because traditionally Iowa State isn't good. Hell, but this time he got it done. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out. But I am glad that not every week is about Deion Sanders. So when he does something, you have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, I got an issue with schedule makers, man. Nebraska's playing Minnesota tomorrow night.
Yeah, I saw.
Why are they playing on a Friday night? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I work from home, but I don't get Friday night football game.
Oh, I've never liked Friday night football games for college because that was supposed to be the time of the week for the high school kids. Right. Because, when the coaches visit high school kids and all that type of stuff. Miami's playing Louisville tomorrow down in Coral Gables, well, at Hard Rock Stadium. So, I mean, it's the same thing. And I know that that's been mentioned a few times of how, damn, this Friday game, you got kids who want to come to the game because they want to be present for a game as far as a recruiting trip or just being there on an unofficial visit. They can't come. They got to game themselves unless they got a bye week.
I'm just glad the game's in Minnesota, so Nebraska doesn't suffer that.
The good thing, but this Minnesota team isn't that good. And now, of course, they weren't that good the other time when they played them in Minnesota years ago.
The last few years, man, there have been a bunch of games Nebraska should have won, could have won, and didn't win. So I don't want to hear that madness.
Minnesota, bro. Oh my God.
Well, people thought Nebraska was really good until Michigan came. No pass rush, can't stop the run, and just get dominated at the line of scrimmage.
But Michigan, they're working on defense and running the ball. The quarterback isn't going to really pass anything right now, but he has enough athleticism.
I'm just saying, if one team can only do one thing, why don't you figure out how to stop that one thing?
Yeah, and it seems like they can't. I mean, it just seems like you look at they can't stop the run. It's like Alabama now with all the talent they've had, they just can't stop the run. Alabama can't stop the run. It's like whoever decides to run on them, well, they do just that. Now they still are able to stay in front because Ty Simpson is that damn good. And with the receivers he has, and Ryan Williams didn't even play last week. Hopefully he plays this week. I don't know. He has an undisclosed injury. That's been something common, if not new. Everyone with their undisclosed injury or their lower body injuries they're coming up with now. Like this is hockey. The lower body injury, bro. Is it ankle or leg or what? Or ankle or knee or what? But yeah, this week here has some pretty good games. Now that Miami Louisville game, not that good because Miller Moss is like not very good at quarterback. He was at USC. That's the reason why he ran away from Ava from USC as a quarterback. I know somebody else was arguing about it. Well, he sat on the bench first and never got back in. He didn't run away from you, man. He's not on USC now. That's all that matters. He's with Louisville. And I know Louisville got these nice defensive stats, but look at their freaking resume. They played everybody other than the damn poor sisters of the South. Come on. They got those defensive stats against those guys, and you're going to use those stats. Man, they're one of the top defenses in the country. Look at the numbers. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams were both at Oklahoma at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the storyline for this Sunday's game.
He sat him down. He's the reason why Spencer Rattler, Caleb was the reason that sat Spencer Rattler down. I remember how he whined about it when he was there. And I was like, man, this guy here, he was all over the place, man. Even when he went to South Carolina, like I said, I went to the game at South Carolina when they played the Gators. I mean, and he wasn't, actually, he did play okay in the beginning, but it seemed like, I was like, how can you lose in front of this crowd? That crowd was so electric. Sometimes it just blows my mind how you can have such an electric crowd. You can let these people down. You can't be in a huddle like, yo, bro, look at this crowd here, man. We can't let these guys down. Let's win this game. And he lost the game. But Ricky Pearsall was killing him. That's what I said right there. I was like, yo, bro, that dude might be a first-round draft pick. That game I went to, Ricky Pearsall owned it. I was like, yo, this dude might be a first-round draft pick. No one talks about him, but he might be. He ended up being one. And then I said, yo, he's an overrated first-round draft pick. But he's still going to be nice, though, Ricky Pearsall.
So who's number one now?
Ohio State's the number one.
Oh, that's right. Who's number two? That's my
Miami.
And Indiana's number three?
Indiana's number three because they replaced Oregon, who was number three.
Right.
So
okay.
That's a good deal right there.
Yeah, I wonder, Indiana's never been top three.
No, this is the highest they've ever been ever.
Yeah,
this is the highest they've ever been. And Texas A&M right behind them. Bro, man, this is not a slouchy Texas. I remember Texas A&M with the big name and then playing well, and then they just start falling apart at the end of the season. And then you're like, oh man, they started off so hot. We thought they were a good team. And man, I remember the year when Michael Bishop was quarterbacking for Kansas State, and they beat Texas A&M. And so I'm like, man, and I think that was that the first Big 12 championship game? I can't remember, but they've always fallen apart. They never really stuck the way they should have been, what you thought they were. This year, this Texas A&M team, man, at home and on the road, they just get it done.
Yeah, that was not the first Big 12 championship game. The first one was Texas-Nebraska.
Texas-Nebraska, yeah. Who was the quarterback in the Texas that year?
Oh
Was
shit!
it Colt McCoy?
No, Colt McCoy was like 2000.
All
He
right.
played against
Okay,
Indomitian
before that
too.
then. Damn,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
trying
it
to
was
remember the
well
quarterback.
before that.
I,
Who
no,
was their quarterback? I
I'm
don't
about to say,
remember.
I'm about to say Chris Sims, but nah. 'Cause
No,
I
it was
remember
before him.
I know
I,
Mitchell
I
Howard
remember
him
the
out.
coach more than anything, Malkovic.
Makovic, man. He used to coach at Illinois, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came from Illinois to come down there. But yeah, man, those were the days. But yeah, but Texas A&M, I got to give credit where credit is due because I just couldn't. I thought it was going to be the usual Texas Tech deal or the usual Texas A&M deal. You know, Jimbo Fisher leaving behind the greatest the greatest recruiting class ever, which was on paper at the time, and everybody decided to leave, so it doesn't even matter anymore. So he got his 77 million. All the other players just left, and it's no longer the greatest recruiting class of all time. Let me see, and then Ole Miss. Check Ole Miss, man. Um, I don't know. I think, I mean, as long as Lane Kiffin is there, they're going to have offense. And I think they can do some things, but it's Ole Miss is not one of those teams that rolls off the tongue as championship, not even SEC champions. But which aside from Ole Miss, what really caught my eye this coming week is Vanderbilt and LSU. Vandy's the favorite, man. Whoever would have thought that?
Yeah, I was thinking that because LSU's been struggling this year. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Indiana's top three, Vanderbilt's favorite versus LSU. This is not your granddaddy's
Oh,
college
hell no.
football.
This is more like the land of misfit toys on you. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the land of misfit toys, everything just where it doesn't belong. And I looked at it, even though I know Vanderbilt, see, and I think people, when they talk about the gambling part of it, they think about the name of the team. I understand how the squares bet. They think about the name of the team because there's so many more squares than there are these, the sharpshooters, the sharps in the gambling game. They will just look at a team's name or they do a little research and think they know what they're talking about and they'll just jump on the bandwagon because of the name. You hear Vandy and LSU, you automatically go with LSU. Just even right now, even though Diego Pavia is taking his team to the program to another level they've never been, and you're still thinking that's LSU. Even though my man Garrett Nussmeier isn't playing the way I thought he should be playing, they're still taking LSU. But Vegas knows better. It seems right now LSU's an underdog against Vanderbilt. So I never thought I'd see that though. When I saw that, I just looked back at other coaches like Vanderbilt, Jerry DiNardo. Remember, he was at both Vanderbilt and LSU. I was blown away that he was even able to go to LSU from Vanderbilt. What the hell did you
He
do?
spent time in Indiana too, didn't he?
And Indiana, yeah. I was always wondering how is this guy continuing to get jobs?
Was he successful anywhere?
No, he wasn't. If you're at Vanderbilt and you get another job, you obviously didn't come from success. At least back then, if you got another job leaving Vanderbilt, and that job was a better job than Vanderbilt, you didn't come from success. You had some type of connection or whatever. And this dude was never looked at as a great coach, always looked at as a nice guy, but great coach. No, I remember when he had Kevin Falk when Falk was the number one player in the country. Kevin Falk came in. And I think Curly Holman was the coach beforehand. And he was recruiting him, but then Jerry DiNardo came in and sealed the deal because I think he was having second thoughts about going since he wasn't dealing with the recruiting guy that he was dealing with before. He comes there, and then you ended up having Cecil Diesel Collins and Rondell Mealy. Those triumvirate running backs ended up being one of the best in the country.
Yeah, but it all makes you wonder why he's in the studio at the Big Ten Network.
I don't know what the heck is up with Jerry DiNardo, man. I don't think he's good anywhere. But hey, if he could describe games, like, look, Chase Daniel wasn't a great NFL player, but he knows how to break down some damn film. So I guess that's Jerry DiNardo. You ain't worth a damn as a coach, but you know how to talk about being a coach. So I guess they just have him out there. But yeah, that's what we're gonna have for this college football this weekend. At least some of the games. It's not the games are starting on Tuesdays now because now we're in October. Now we're in the middle of October, so games start on Tuesday. I know the MAC typically has their games on Tuesdays, but we have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday games. Now Friday they go into Saturday. It's almost like the NFL.
Got to follow their lead, right?
Well, they took the 2-point conversion from college, so why not? The NFL took the 2-point conversion from college, so the college just does what they do. And then Georgia, I don't know, man. I mean, they're not the same. They're not even close to what they were even 3 years ago. And I think they're a 3-loss team this year. they'll get to the playoffs because they just have sheer talent. But Gunnar Stockton as a quarterback, if you talked about he and Ty Simpson, because I think there's some type of parallel between those two. It should be more Carson Beck and Stockton and how they're doing, considering one left for the other. And Ty Simpson's ahead of all of them. But I know Gunnar Stockton isn't that player I think that can play from behind, even though they did it against Auburn. And you heard the stories about the refs, the same stories you hear all the time. It was the refs. That's how they came back. The biggest cheating game I've ever seen all year. That's what they were saying, how Georgia came back. They were down 10-0, the end 20-10, against Auburn. But, yeah, that's what we have right here. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia doing a lot better than Clemson.
Clemson's a mess.
I know it.
And they're favored by like 19 points this week.
And I know Dable's got a lot of currency built up, man, but it's bad down there.
Bro, Dabo Sweetie, you want to talk about coaches that might be in the hot seat. I mean, you know what? I heard a story about hot seat coaches. John Harbaugh came up. Now, you know what? Maybe that goodwill is gone. And that's the NFL. But
see, to me, that ain't even right. He got half his team hurt, and you're going to fire him because they're having a bad season?
They had him on a hot seat. They was like, which coach now can expect to lose their job? He was like right at the top of the list. Like, oh.
I don't know who put that list together, but I don't think they actually watched the games.
Oh, for real, man. But, sometimes it's unforgiving. And I know he's not trying to live by what he did in the Super Bowl by winning a Super Bowl. And not even family name, but he's a damn good coach. And whoever gets him, if he is fired, bro, he's just going to go somewhere and win. Now, he's going to be able to be one of those guys that can pick his job and end up going wherever he goes. But
it's not his fault. His quarterback, his MVP quarterback, chokes in big moments.
Chokes in big moments and then can't play in some moments because he's injured. So,
I mean, too many times there's been a fumble, a bad interception, a bad decision. It's just too many times, too many playoff games in a row.
And you look at his freaking stats.
Or not in a row, but 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 6, whatever.
But you look at his stats, man, you're like, damn, this dude, last year's stats, like video game stats, and almost the same performance in the playoffs. It's not.
Well, he needs to become, it's not going to happen this year, but he needs to be playoff Lamar instead of MVP Lamar.
You know what? I think he'll take it. This dude will take that Super Bowl ring over any of those MVPs he's gotten. When players start talking about, I don't care about the championship, bro, why are you even playing anymore? I've heard NBA players say nonsense like that. When they can't get the ring anymore, they can't get close to the ring, talk that nonsense. I think didn't Russell
play to win the game.
That's it. Listen to Herm Edwards. He goes across all sports. Play to win the game. You just don't play just to play it. You play to win. And these guys act like they made so damn much money. All I care about now is my family. What? Bro, you need to win a damn championship. Or at least act like you damn care about a championship. And now Russ is in Sacramento. It says a little basketball to slide in there.
Russ Westbrook?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man. They just slid him onto Sacramento, man. So
I still can't believe the Kings traded Swiper, man. That didn't make no sense to me. That's their best player.
What the heck is making it? What the hell? When De'Aaron Fox left, you knew that was going to happen. What more did they have?
Well, they got some decent players, but no game changers like Swiper. Keegan Murray can shoot it. They traded Hoyter too. I don't know what the Kings are thinking.
And this is the West. The West is going to be serious business this year. The East, from all accounts, even if you're watching just basketball a little bit, the East doesn't have anything. We could just forget about Indiana, first of all. We already know how that story goes. But Cleveland isn't even really a team you can look at and say, you know what, they'll pick up where they left off last season. The Knicks are probably one of the steady teams, but the Knicks probably still fall down like the number 4th or 5th best team in the West if they were there.
Yeah, I was surprised the Knicks didn't make a strong effort to get KD.
Oh, they made a strong effort to get Giannis. They tried getting Giannis. The story just came out a couple of days ago. But
yeah, but the likelihood of Giannis leaving compared to KD leaving, you knew KD's going somewhere. Giannis, you would have to convince him.
But Giannis threw a lot of things on the wall in the past. Before it was all, I want to do it the right way. I want to be with the team from the beginning and we can win a championship. I'm not going to make my own big three jumping from team to team. I'm doing it organically, and I did it, and I won a championship here. And he's always said that. Then as of late in the past couple of years, well, I wouldn't mind not finishing my career in Milwaukee. Who the hell says that? What do you think they're supposed to think when you say that? The fans are like, wait a minute, what? And and then you're almost like making up issues to get pissed off about or whatever to make it seem like you really don't want, that it's not me not want to be here, it's the circumstance. Nah, man, you said it. You might want to leave for real. Now, I don't even think it was a money deal. The dude could get as much money as he could possibly get. He's the first priority. But imagine him with the freaking Knicks. If he'd have came to the Knicks, I'm wondering between he and Brunson, damn, man, we might have to just play basketball with two balls. The hell, that's what we're gonna have to do. But yeah, but the East is
honestly, I think Giannis made a poor decision. I mean, he may not want to move and all that off the court stuff. Milwaukee isn't going to be very good, man.
Oh, well, they got his brothers again. Like, that matters.
If he could have gone to New York, he makes them an instant contender.
They're already a contender. He probably puts them over the top, at least get into the
I mean, contender, like probably
consistently year in and year out without having to worry. And if Brunson went down, you got somebody to hold the fort. I think so. And they could have gotten to the finals, but because the West is so freaking strong like it is, well, I know the little news that went through in the West, Steph Curry's brother now playing with him. I mean, come on, man. Like, doesn't matter. I mean, it's more of a nostalgic story than anything else.
If LeBron can bring his son, Steph can bring his brother.
You know what I'm saying? If LeBron can bring his son, the coach could bring his son's friend and just suit him up. Whatever, man. That's how it seems like it goes. And it may be true. LeBron and his son may be retiring this year. After this season. His son might get a chance to retire a little earlier. Everyone and their mother knows this guy does not belong in the NBA. And I know he has to know that. He knows that, man. He's one of those young guys that checks social media. He can say what he wants. He has a hell of a following anyway, so he does have to engage. He knows what's going on. He hears this nonsense. I hate it for him because a lot of the hate he's getting is because people hate his father so much. And it's been that way before he even came to the NBA.
Pretty much, but also it's the nepotism factor.
That nepotism adds that extra pressure.
He didn't deserve to get drafted.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah, a lot of people
think
a game. He's taking somebody's spot. Somebody else could be in the league, and I think that's where the hate. Or can't speak for everybody, but like basketball people who don't like Bronny, like why would this guy who averaged 2 points per game in college be drafted?
On a bad college team, USC was even good. USC was even good.
Right. If you're a good player on a bad team, you have opportunity to put up numbers.
Yep. Like
if you can get buckets, if you can get buckets and you're on a bad team, you should be able to put up numbers. You may not win a lot of games, but you put up all-star type numbers.
And bro, he did. Chris Clemens at 5'9" went to Campbell and led the nation in scoring and got a shot with the Houston Rockets. So, I mean, bro, if you got the game, you're going to get a chance. And this dude got a chance playing with a bad college team. Didn't really do a whole lot in high school. It took him a while. They talked about how patient he was. Bro, no, he didn't start because he wasn't good enough in the beginning. He didn't have patience. He had to develop. He eventually had got in. Then he got into the McDonald's All-American game. From all accounts, you hear that he's a nice guy, and you like to believe that. And, he's never said anything offline or, out of pocket, at least publicly. I haven't heard it. But he's just going to get the hate that his father gets. And because of the nepotism, it's magnified because he doesn't deserve that opportunity. And I hate to say he doesn't deserve it, but what's not true about it?
100%. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't play at an NBA level.
Oh, absolutely. Shit, not even G League level, man. He's not even playing at the G League level. So next week, this time, the NBA would have already started.
That's crazy to me.
That's fast, man. The NBA would have already started, so people, I guess, NBA-wise, will be looking forward to the Christmas Day game.
Are they starting sooner because no back-to-backs and that sissy-ass shit like that?
You know what? I don't know what the deal is and how they went about making up the schedule or when they started, whatever. But, yeah, it is starting next week, and everybody's 0-0. Someone will remain with an O in the win column for a while, trying to figure out which team that would be. The Washington Wizards? We don't know. I don't know. But the West is so much further ahead than the East. I'm trying, and the Celtics don't have Tatum for this year. What, for this year or later on this year? I don't even know. And then we know Tyrese Halliburton not playing at all this year. I mean, shoot, the East got nothing to offer. And then we know about Donovan Mitchell's injuries every now and then. And then not only that, the entire Cleveland Cavaliers, after what they did during the last season, everybody's freaking injured. The mass unit on the bench or not on the bench. But anyway, we'll be able to talk about that.
I'm interested to see who takes over the West. KD's in Houston now, got a lot of young talent down there with them. They played with energy.
Oh, Houston, yeah.
They gave the Warriors fits last year in the playoffs, and so maybe this year they should take a step up. You had a Hall of Famer in KD.
Yep.
Now you got your go-to guy when you need a bucket late in games. And that's what they were missing last year.
And didn't they have the second best record in the NBA last season?
Yeah.
Houston Rockets, bro, that was serious, man.
And OKC,
they set the
there's nothing to say that they're going to get worse. They've gone through the gauntlet. They won it all, and maybe they're more confident and they come back better this year.
They might repeat. I think they're probably best suited to repeat more so than any team we've seen in recent memory. To repeat. Well, I guess since the Golden State team, they're able to just.
So, would you want KD to win a ring with the Rockets?
Man, I don't know what I want for KD anymore. I mean, not that because look, everyone he's never been the one that got the ring. He went to where the ring was already there, or is there for the taking. He could be.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, he could be the player that pushed him over the top. But would he get that credit as if he would have if the team was built around him like Giannis, a team that was built around him? Even though I think it's still an asterisk championship for Giannis, but he still was there when he had done it.
If nothing else, he can say he won one without Steph and Clay. So
but he went with young cats.
So people will hold that against him. And I don't know how I feel either, if I want him to win it or not win it. A lot of times he'll say some crazy things and I'll be like, oh, man, fuck out of here, Kevin. So I'm not as big as fan, but I'm not a hater neither.
I don't mind.
It wouldn't bother me if he didn't win another championship.
No, if he won a championship, I wonder how it's going to be looked at. If everybody, when the championship is won, if it's won, KD finally gets his championship, is that going to be said? No. You know what I'm saying?
No, but to all of his detractors, he can say, now what?
Now what? Okay,
Steph wasn't here, Clay wasn't here, Draymond wasn't here. I did it without them. Now what are you going to say?
But he didn't go to a team damn it.
Well, you can always say he didn't do it like Kobe. He didn't do it like Jordan,
Being that one dude, the one team, yeah.
But
I think he lost his opportunity.
LeBron can't say that neither.
Oh, but LeBron just bounced around from team to team. We knew that he made
right. I'm just saying, neither one of them started out as a young team and grew together, brought in a couple pieces here and there, and you all learned to win together. Neither one of them did it.
He's old as hell now, anyways. And I never did dislike KD. I mean, his game. I don't think there's anything not to like about his game before the injury.
And they can keep him to like 20 minutes a game in the regular season, and then the playoffs. Run the offense through him.
Yep. Well, we'll get a chance to talk about a lot of that basketball. I guess the early basketball, maybe not. College basketball starting up in about a couple of weeks too. I think November 3rd is the first college basketball game or the first slew of college basketball games. In fact, they have a game here in Jacksonville. The Florida Gators playing the Miami Hurricanes. I'm still thinking about heading to that damn game. I was like, oh, bro, I just saw it a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, oh, snap. Didn't even know they were coming because I don't listen to sports radio here. I wouldn't know. So now that I saw it, I was like, yo, I might just show up.
So what happens to the Gators during the hurricane down there?
When the hurricane happens?
Yeah.
Oh, they're in Gainesville, so typically they wouldn't get hit as hard.
No. What happened when the hurricane, a real hurricane?
Yeah, when a real hurricane comes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Gainesville is more inland. I mean, halfway inland. I mean, they get hit, but they don't get hit as hard as like Tampa would get hit or Lauderdale. Because Miami, believe it or not, doesn't even get hit as hard as people would think. But Tampa or even Orlando gets a little bit. Jacksonville just happens.
No, what happens to the animals, the alligators, the actual alligators?
Well, I think primarily the alligators are typically in the southern part of Florida, the central part of Florida anyway. Up in the north part of Florida, the northeast part of Florida, Florida's like Gainesville's like southwest of Jacksonville. So there's probably gators out there, but it isn't like it down in the Everglades and other parts of Florida, Tampa. Producers walking on golf courses.
You're not following me. I'm not asking about the Florida Gators at all.
No, I'm talking about the actual alligators.
I know but you still keep mentioning Gainesville. When there's a hurricane, wherever it hits, are there alligators there? What happens to those alligators?
Bro, I don't know what the hell too. You asked me about the safe being or the well-being of the alligators when the hurricanes come.
I'm not asking about the safe being, well-being. I'm not just asking what happens to them. Like, do the high winds in the water take them to other places?
I don't know what happens to these guys.
Are they displaced from their homes?
Wherever they land is home, man.
Anyway, it took us 5 minutes to get there, but that's what Miami's gonna do to Florida. Whatever happens to the Gators when the hurricane comes,
displace their asses. But they got that center this year, 7'9", 7'8". That's the dude I want to see. 7'9", whatever he is, 7'9", 7'8".
7'9".
Man, my dude, I watch this dude. There is no dunk. It's just him reaching his hand up. Just him raising his hand in class. 15
years, when they bring back celebrity boxing, it's gonna be Edie versus that guy.
They're talking about players like that now coming back in vogue. Those dudes will be jabbing each other from the corner and still being able to reach, man.
They can still sit on their stools. And
that's for real. Just throw their hand out there and still get tired while they're sitting down. But yeah, man, I'm interested in seeing him. He seems like a nice guy. People come on campus. It's almost like he's a tourist attraction. People taking pictures with him like he's a statue. And this dude's a real life dude, going to class. How you not going to pass it through the hallway and be like, oh, bro, what's going on? And he's like 6 or 7.
Watch your head, bro. Watch your head.
Oh my God! Like Dino just in the Flintstones popping his head through the door. That's how he go with that. Man, I'm not a Gator fan by no stretch, but interested in seeing what he's going to do. And they did compare him to Zach Edey, but man, he makes Zach Edey look like a damn little dude. And they showed him against with Shaq.
He's got about almost half a foot.
Man, like it makes Shaq like little junior, man. But this dude's stiff as hell, man. I saw some of his high school video. Dude's just somebody spray starch on his ass. But anyway, let's get it out of here because hell, when Monday comes, we'll be able to talk about the NBA a little bit more because it'll be a little closer. But the NFL and college football will reign supreme, and whatever other nonsense can come through the pipeline. I'm sure some boxing something will find its way into the conversation between now and Monday. For some reason, it just tells me that because I saw Devin Haney acting a fool a couple of days ago. So I'm figuring something else will percolate, and by Monday it'll be talked about.
We'll see if the Bad News Bears can win 4 in a row.
4 in a row. No, I'll put money on that game on Saturday. I'll put money on that game. Bro,
just a quick mention. Angel Reese showing her ass on the runway. Come on, man. Don't sexualize her. Don't sexualize her.
Don't sexualize her. She doesn't like that part. She only likes when you clap. Yeah, you probably got the claps too. But anyway, he's Buzz on Travis Sports Back Bros Podcast. We'll be back at you on Monday. But until then, deuces.